fade in.
We will make sure to get the Oscars people to edit that out. We're obviously just messing. Well, welcome to Force of Light Entertainment. I am Michelle.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
Yes, well, we wanted to just kind of give a follow-up. We did our last video giving you guys our honest thoughts on the Gina Carano interview. And in that, we expressed our disappointment with Disney Lucasfilm. And I have been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I literally cannot remember a time in my life that I didn't love Star Wars. And I can say that I have never been this disappointed in Lucasfilm. And I know a lot of people are feeling that way. And even I was literally overwhelmed by how many of you all posted, some of them lengthy, expressing what you felt over what Disney Lucasfilm has done. And it's just overwhelming. People are upset, people are angry, and we just kind of want to talk about that.
This has struck a deep nerve for so many.
It has. We want to talk about, I mentioned in that first video, does Lucasfilm have the right to fire Gina Carano because of her Twitter post? Yes, they do. But they also have to deal with the consequences, because actions do have consequences in the sense. And people saw, as we discussed, the double standard and what they did. And people are angry about it.
There's so much we didn't even say regarding just Disney as a whole, but
yeah. And the bottom line is now they have to deal with the fallout of the situation. And the fallout is pretty enormous. And it almost seems like, because it does start with Kathleen Kennedy. She's the head of Lucasfilm. It kind of feels like Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, that they didn't really calculate how people would feel or react to what they did. It's kind of like they just made this decision. They didn't really like her politics. They made this decision, you're out, on a whim.
Yeah.
And I really don't believe that the CEO of Disney was probably happy that happened the day before his investor meeting, when all of their big thing is Disney Plus, and by that day, the next day, hashtag cancel Disney Plus was trending.
Right.
I don't think...
Not the best timing on their part.
Or, someone who I'd say has a little more clout even than Kathleen at Disney would be Kevin Feige. And when he finally just now got his big Marvel TV shows off the ground, and WandaVision was just getting really interesting and people are excited about it, and on a Friday, the thing that's trending is hashtag cancel Disney Plus, you have a problem. And I really can't see how they're really thrilled with the situation they find themselves in. But yet these were the decisions that Lucasfilm made, and here we are. And, we jokingly brought up the Kathleen Kennedy Oscars video. People were so angry that they went to that video and ratioed it to such a degree that the Oscars removed the comment section and to where you can see how many people thumbed down the video. And after they did that, because you can't fully censor people are going to find a way to express their feelings when they're feeling the way we're all feeling. And people have now...
Well, we still have some freedom of speech.
People have now gone to the Star Wars YouTube channel that has over 3 million subscribers, and they just begun bombarding their videos with thumbs downs and comments. And if you go through the comments right now, it doesn't have to do with whatever's being discussed. It has to do with...
They just want to be heard.
Yes, their frustration with what has happened with Gina Carano. And then, hashtag fire Kathleen Kennedy is kind of what is going on. But regardless, there's a problem and there is fallout. And I just kind of think, again, I just don't think they calculated. I think they thought, this will be in the headlines a couple days.
Just blow over, no biggie.
And, Star Wars means so much to people, like myself and so many, that they'll just kind of get over it and it won't be a big deal. And I just don't really think that's the case. Because this is not, I wasn't someone, now I don't particularly love The Last Jedi for multiple reasons, but I'm not going to get into that. But
it's for another day.
But for The Last Jedi, when that upset so many people, there were a lot of things within The Last Jedi, I would say, that made a lot of people maybe do, besides the treatment of Luke that people had an issue with, that a lot of people had an issue with. I know many didn't, but many did. Regardless, it was a divisive movie. We can say that at this point.
Yeah.
And the Solo movie really paid for it that came out after it.
And once again, it's okay
It's a
if
movie.
you like it. It's okay if
it doesn't
you don't
matter.
like it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I know people who love it and people who hate it. So it's
Yeah.
just not a big deal. It's a movie. But I kind of think they thought, like, it'll just kind of blow over maybe like that. But here's what I'm getting at. It's like they have done, The Mandalorian has repaired and built a bridge for the people that The Last Jedi just really turned away.
I mean, I think it was like even like on Twitter, you would see posts about like the Mandalorian, the thing bringing us all together again.
I mean,
And it really was kind of doing that.
I mean, Baby Yoda, Grogu, who doesn't love the child?
Yeah.
I mean, we all love him. And it was I was just so happy as a Star Wars fan after the feelings of The Last Jedi to have something that people
were
were
loving.
excited again. And the people that were really put out with Disney, Lucasfilm. And
it was on a path to redemption.
It was. And then you lead up to this in the season finale of The Mandalorian, and Luke Skywalker showed up, and we all lost our minds. And you've done this damage control, and then 2021 hit, and it's just been like bad publicity stunt after bad publicity stunt for Lucasfilm. And of course, coming to this big place of the firing of Gina Carano. And it's just something, it's just not going to go away because
it's hard to get past for a lot of people because, you know, while, like you say, The Last Jedi, yeah, maybe it wasn't great and it ticked off a lot of people.
It was a movie.
It was a movie and it wasn't personal like the firing of Gina Carano is to, you know, as we said in our last video, probably over half of America are people that are non-woke.
Yeah, well, and even that, besides just fully basically telling conservatives, like, you're not welcome here. Your views don't align with us.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit at this table anymore. There's so many people beyond those who would classify themselves as conservatives that are really upset over the Gina situation. And plus, those people were the ones that were upset with The Last Jedi. And it's kind of like you burned them with The Last Jedi, but you just like severed the tie in a way with the Gina Carano situation. I mean, it's just, and guys, it's just really bad business. I don't know who thought it was a good business plan to tell half the country, we don't want you at the table. Because that's basically what they've done in a way. Because this, especially in the 2020, 2021 environment, everything gets made political, sadly.
You know, and I think, once again, sadly, it was basically like, the heart of the issue is basically like telling half the country or even over half the country, like, we hate you too.
Well, basically, like
you know,
like it's abhorrent, go away.
Yeah.
And here's a good business plan, guys.
How dare you have your own mind and raise questions and think for yourself?
Yes,
not allowed to do that.
Yes, Disney teaching little girls everywhere to bend the knee and shut up and do what's accepted of you and what's required of you.
Great message for females.
It really is. But you know, here's a good business model. You know, everyone knows Michael Jordan. Arguably, I'd say the most famous basketball player we've ever had.
I just watched an SNL skit with him the other day. That was really funny. Back when SNL
was funny. Back before they got woke. Well, guys, wokeness is a disease that ruins everything it touches. Like, it really is. But anyways, Michael Jordan.
It's a cancer and it spreads.
Michael Jordan is famous for his line that he said when asked kind of about his politics. And he famously replied, "Republicans buy sneakers too."
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's time for Hollywood, it's time for Lucasfilm, Disney to kind of embrace that idea. And it's not like I think here's the bottom line. We don't want politics in our space fantasy.
Right.
Like people don't want that on both sides, I don't think, for the most part. Like, people just want to be able to watch Star Wars and have an escape from reality. Again, back to The Mandalorian. That wasn't like a political thing. It was something that actually brought people together, of something we could come together and just enjoy. We could all talk about the Mandalorian episodes and forget about the election, forget about whatever was going on, and have something to unify us with, and to have something to come together and love together. And they take that thing that one thing that everyone seems to love from the Disney Lucasfilm era, and they literally have kind of damaged it. I genuinely kind of feel bad almost for Jon Favreau that he's been building this world and actually going back to the old school way of doing Star Wars, which doesn't have woke politics in it and doesn't have kind of just nonsense in it. And they just kind of ripped it out from under him.
Well, and you have to feel bad that he has to work with Kathleen Kennedy.
I mean, it's just not a good business plan, guys. And I really think that this is kind of, once they've done this, it's kind of the wound that won't be healed. If Lucasfilm clearly, I think, is just like, we're not going to address it. We're just going to let it go. They'll come back to us because we're Lucasfilm and it will all just blow over. I don't think that's going to happen. This is a wound that if you don't address Lucasfilm, it's not going anywhere.
And I think it's kind of like, you know, with so many of us, there's so many little things and things sometimes in movies and in shows and outside and things we see on Twitter, and we're like, we take it and we take it and we take it and we take it. But this was kind of the final straw, you know, like of you're not welcome here.
Like I was talking to Natalie yesterday, and it's kind of like this breaking moment of like, as anyone who doesn't just eat up the total far left Hollywood politics, you do just, they just force stuff down your throat all the time.
But you want to talk about a cult? That's a cult, man.
Clearly, like, people are too scared to even speak in their house.
That's insane in the membrane.
Like that's not
insane in the brain.
Like, that's not a very good situation when people are afraid to talk. That's pretty bad. Right. And again, we're talking about their brand of things that I don't even think speaks for a lot of Democrats in our country.
I don't either.
It just doesn't.
No.
Like, it's this very extreme elitist special thing that they got going out there. But basically we take so much, and I feel like so many people, and again, this goes across party lines, are just begin to feel like kind of that old 80s song, we're not going to take it. Like, we're just kind of over it.
And whereas we were kind of taking it before, you know, Michelle and I were discussing this a little while ago, it's like, Disney, we see you.
Yeah.
We see now, and we're going to call it out, all your freaking hypocrisy constantly. You know, taking John Boyega out of the, you know, that makes me mad.
Making him small on the Chinese poster.
To appease the Chinese.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, or thanking the area.
Or the ultimate.
Yeah, thanking the area in China that literally has literal concentration camps. And then wanting to fuss.
Abhorrent.
That is abhorrent. Like, that's truly abhorrent behavior. And here's the thing where people might have kind of addressed it. People are now looking at you, Lucasfilm and Disney, for things to be offended with.
Like, you're not going to get off so easily anymore. We're watching.
No, like the things
we're all watching.
The things we used to just take, like, people aren't going to take anymore.
No.
And again, just kind of as we kind of wrap this up, like, people are tired of being preached to. Like, they're tired of all this stuff just being shoved down our throats. Movies should be a place, and that's one of the reasons I wanted this channel. Movies have been a thing that can bring people together, that can cross party lines, and can be something we can just all have in common to talk about. And when you're taking that away from people, it's just not a good thing for our country, really. And I just don't think people, again, this is a wound that if not addressed, is not going to be healed. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm always going to love Star Wars. It's always had a place in my heart. But I'm not just going to buy everything from this point moving forward that Disney puts out. Yeah. And, you know, I may not love everything that they put out. And a lot of people, I'm someone, again, who didn't even feel burned from The Last Jedi the way a lot of people did. There's so many people, they were kind of already done with Lucasfilm, Disney.
Like left the building.
And now you did this. I don't know if they are coming back. I mean, this is like really bad PR, and it's time for them to recognize that. Because, guys, you know, Lucasfilm, I doubt you're listening, but if you were, there's nothing wrong with saying you made a knee-jerk reaction that after reviewing the post, you realize she didn't mean anything anti-Semitic about it.
Right.
And to at least extend that to people and maybe offer her back her job if she wanted. I don't know if she'd want to go work for those people again, to just being honest.
You know, the way I've put it before, it's kind of like going back to an abusive partner at this point.
Yeah.
So,
but I just kind of think moving forward, Echo Base, I don't even watch them really. They popped up for the first time in my recommended watches, and they did this thing, and it's hashtag before the dark times. And that's kind of where fans are.
Yeah.
Like, we'll enjoy the things like before all this nonsense has taken place, but you've really dampened something that people love. And it's just, I have watched so many different podcasts that exclusively have covered Star Wars. All of a sudden, begin to change and move, begin to branch out. And I think just so many people are burned. Like, even passionate Star Wars fans are just burned by this move because we see the double standard. We see the hypocrisy of the move that was made, and we all know why it was made. And it's just very frustrating to a very large group of people. And again, not even just conservatives, but there's a lot of people who are not conservatives who are very upset.
Like, when you're going to take her words out of context and you're thinking a place with concentration camps,
which you could literally compare to what happened in Nazi Germany.
Right, like that's actually a fair comparison.
Yeah.
And you're shrinking a black man to appease a certain people, but I guess that's not racist? I'm confused here. So it's just Disney. Do better, as they say.
Yeah, as cancel culture loves to say, do better. Which I really hate that phrase, by the way, but it's just so condescending how it's used.
Do better.
Yeah, it's annoying. But anyways, that's kind of our thoughts. I'm not telling you, again, Star Wars will always have a special place in my heart. I will more than likely, it'll be hard for me. In fact, right now, I kind of feel like a couple that's going through a divorce, and I'm just in it for the child at this point. Like, if it wasn't for Grogu, like, that's what I'm in it for here, guys.
Well, and I'd actually shared something, I think it was a couple weeks ago, before all this happened, on my Twitter. It was people going to see the first viewing, or like people rushing to their seats to see Return of the Jedi. And so this is the early 80s, and you've got white people, black people, people from all ethnicities.
Men, women,
children, women, kids, and everybody's so excited. And it's a unifying thing. And it's like, that was the beauty of it. And it's like, this wokeness and all this crap is like ruining the beauty of that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And it's just time for them to kind of get on track. And, is Star Wars really inclusive? Is it inclusive for people who have different views? I don't know. It doesn't seem that way now.
It doesn't feel that way.
And it's kind of time, again, it's never too late to say you're sorry. It's never too late to say you made a mistake. And it's really, I don't see, again, unless they do that and truly begin to address what they did, I just don't see this wound healing for a lot of people. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's dampened my love, and I've loved it deeply my whole life.
I think so many people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I'm talking people that, they live and
for
breathe
Star Wars. Yeah.
I can tell it's had an effect.
It has, and it's time to be addressed. But yeah, that's just kind of our thoughts on the fallout. I honestly just expect it to continue. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I'm not saying all these people are never going to watch Star Wars again. That's not at all what I'm saying. But people are upset, and like, this hit a nerve. This broke something. This touched something in people that nothing else they've done has ever touched. And it's just not going away if you don't address it.
Because unlike cancel culture society, I think I can speak for both of us when I say, and I think a lot of people out there, like, I'm all for redemption.
Yeah.
And moving forward and not canceling people and giving people mercy and another chance. So we're very open to that.
Yes. But there's some things that are going to need to take place.
Yes.
I think for a lot of people for that to happen. But yeah, that's kind of our thoughts, guys, on the fallout of the Gina Carano situation. Again, it's just going to keep going, I think. But yeah, that is it for today's show of Force of Light Entertainment. If you have not yet, we encourage you to go ahead and hit hit the subscription or subscribe button. There we go. Hit the
Turn the
subscribe
bell
button.
on if you want to be notified when we upload.
Yes, and give the
It
video a
might be
thumbs up.
spicy. It might be a regular review. We don't know.
Yeah. We enjoy guys. That's the thing. We
We're
enjoy having something to talk about that is really positive and
Yes.
fun and good. I don't like what has gone on. It has deeply bothered me, and that's why we've now had 2 videos where I just kind of need to express my feelings on the subject, really.
It's just unfortunate there's been some crap going on.
It is. And, hashtag we love Gina Carano, hashtag we stand with Gina. But that is it for this episode. And remember, as always, to be a force of light. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.